Hi everybody, welcome to another Talk to Georgian live chat. My name is Jenny Thompson and I'm the social media specialist here at Georgian College. So today we're going to be focusing all about how to be a successful Georgian student. So we've got some really special guests today who can talk to us about that and give us some great advice from different perspectives. So first up, in just a minute, we're going to have Sarah Lawlor, who is a business administration human resources student. And so she's also going into her third year at Georgian this fall, and she's a peer mentor at Georgian. And then we're going to have Sylvia Lauterbach, a student recruitment specialist at Georgian College. As well, then we are going to be bringing in Aisha O'Connor, who is a first year experience and transition officer. And she's going to talk to us all about orientation and what to expect for that this year. So we know you've got questions. Please put them down below and we'll do our best to get through as many as we can. And you might be wondering some things like, what will help me get off to the best start this fall? Where can I get help with registration or even ongoing support with my studies? What's happening for orientation this year? So as I said, just put your questions down below and we'll get through as many as we can today. So hopefully as well, we're going to have Sid from our International Center in our comments sort of helping answer some of those questions that we can't quite get to today. He would be using the IC Georgian account. So definitely, especially if you're an international student, that's a fantastic account to follow if you don't already follow it. They post a lot of updates and information on there. As well, they host live chats 3 times a week on there. So if you want to stay connected with fellow international students or our international team here in Canada, or if you have questions, that you can always message them on there and join their live chats and ask questions to get some help that way as well. So as always, before we jump into some questions, I just want to show everybody our website. It's a fantastic resource. It's got tons of information on there. So anything that we do cover, as well as the stuff that we can't get to today, you can find it on there. So GeorgianCollege.ca. And I just want to give you a quick tour just to find some important areas. So this is our website, GeorgianCollege.ca. So the main thing that I want to draw your attention to is this bright orange bar at the top of the page. Can't miss it, right? So there's a few links, as you can see in here, with lots of valuable information there. So the first one up is the August lab recovery period, and that's going on right now. So if you click on that, you will go to this page and it's just what it says, what you need to know about August lab recovery. So there's lots of information there that's really helpful, broken down. So, wondering about safety protocols, face coverings, who's allowed on campus. So unless you have a lab that you have to be there for, then you won't be allowed on campus, things like that. Even face coverings, we put out recently that the kinds with valves will not be accepted. And so we do have some face coverings if students don't have other kinds and that sort of thing. So anyway, there's lots of information on there, as well as some more info on our Safe at Georgian app. You can get that anywhere that you can download apps. And there's a COVID-19 screening assessment tool on there. It's really quick. It doesn't take very long at all. And it'll actually help you get onto campus quicker if you're going for August lab recovery. So for sure, check that out. As well, up here in the tab is our fall 2020 program delivery page. So the main thing that I wanted to show you with that page is our search tool. So there is more information here, so you can go there and learn, all the latest updates about this fall. As well, if you're wondering about whether your program is online or if it's in person, go down to our program search tool and you'll see that here all broken down alphabetically. And so in this corner here in the search tab, just type in your program and it will show up down below and it'll tell you remote or if it's in person. And it will break it down by year and semester and all that good stuff. And then again, the last one is our COVID-19 update page. So if you click on that, it will take you to our main page here. Really handy. It's broken down by section. So if you want to look for, a specific semester or the August recovery page, or, if you're wondering about finance fees, registrar's office, anything like that as well, there's more tabs down here. And that even the tab for international students, and that's a separate page. So if you click on that, it will actually give you more information just for international students. And you can see it broken down here to get more information about, things like immigration, housing, and all that good stuff. And you can get more information. So if you're arriving for fall 2020, this is definitely a great place and you're an international student, this is definitely a great place to go. It'll show you exactly what you need to do, and all these different plans and for quarantine and the COVID-19 situation there. Awesome. Hi, so I know that that's lots of information. So for sure, I'm seeing lots of questions coming in as well. If you want us to go over any of this stuff in more detail, if you want more help locating something on the site, you can always reach out to us, direct message us at Georgian College on our social media channels, and we'll definitely, do our best to help you locate the information that you need. Great. So now we're going to be bringing in Sarah Lawlor. She is a business admin and human resources student, and she, as well as a peer mentor here at Georgian. Okay. Comments here.
Hey.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. We've got lots of students on here, and you yourself are a student. So, you can give us a unique perspective that way, student to student.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about what you do at Georgian?
Yeah, so I am a student, but aside from being a student, I have worked multiple different contracts at Georgian College. So I've actually worked in the registrar's office. I've worked at ad drop, help sessions, just helping students register into courses. But since May of 2020, I've actually been a peer mentor. So I am returning as a peer mentor for this fall semester. And part of that position is now I will be one of the co-runners of our social media page, this peer mentor page that I'm using. Which is also a great resource for new students to have because we post lots of events that are happening, things to know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, perfect. So tell us more about that peer mentor program, because that's something that, students can really take advantage of, and that can help them be successful. Yeah. So tell us about that and how students can benefit.
So the peer mentor program is really focused on peer-to-peer connection. So we know a lot of the same information as, say, your student advisor, but the difference would be that we are also students. We've been through what you're going through. We were first semester student, first year students. We know that it's complicated to learn how to use Blackboard, Banner, all that kind of stuff. And we've actually gone through it ourselves and we've learned. So we just have a lot of tips and tricks to offer and support. And we're also students, so we're in the same situation as you are.
Yeah, you're doing your exams and you're studying and trying to figure out all that stuff too. So that's great. So if somebody's interested in getting in touch with or getting set up with a peer mentor, how would they go about that?
So what I would recommend you do is you either go to the Georgian College website that you showed earlier and you can search peer mentor program, or first year orientation will have a tab and there will be a link to the peer mentor page. Or in the peer mentor Georgian College bio of this social media page, there's actually a link right to the website.
I'll just show on the website here, and how I got to here as well. I should show that. It's just, so on our website, under student life, the top tab here, and you scroll over to here under first year experience, you see information there. And so if you go to peer mentors, it'll take you down. I'm already on that page, but it'll take you down to the peer mentors, what you do, and then here's this button here, apply for a mentor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's all virtual this year too, which is also different. Because of COVID, they had to quickly switch the program from being in person, where you actually meet your mentor for coffee or to talk about things. So now most of our weekly thing is that we do a weekly WebEx meeting, or group chats through WhatsApp, just offering that support. We can reply to your emails, send you important links. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
sort of have
changed a lot.
a virtual coffee this time
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
That's good though. You know, you can still stay connected, and that's the
Yeah.
important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like yourself, you know, as a student, and then later on becoming a peer mentor yourself, what if somebody wants to do what you're doing, and you know, maybe next year or whenever they want to be a peer mentor, is that something that they can do?
Yeah, so what I did actually was I was just scrolling through the Georgian College website, and I found the peer mentor link, and there was actually a button to apply to be a mentor. So myself never had a mentor myself, but I was still able to apply for that position, and within a couple weeks, they had reached out to me asking me if I wanted to partake in the program.
Yeah, perfect. And I see a question here about getting email from the peer mentor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming, I guess maybe you can tell us about that sort of timer,
Yeah.
turnaround. I mean,
Yeah.
sort of when they apply to or contact you guys to get a peer mentor.
So once you're paired up with a peer mentor, so I know for the fall, for example, everyone's still been applying, and I think the applications have maybe closed. I'm not guaranteeing that you can't still apply and get a peer mentor, but the main application period has closed from my understanding. And they're working to pair us. So I think there's about 8 mentors this year, and we're each going to have like 16 to 18 students,
Okay.
by the sounds of things. So we always promise to respond between like 24 and 48 hours. But we haven't officially been paired yet. I think that's coming out tomorrow or the following week. And then you can expect to hear from us as soon as we are given your contact information.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty quickly. That's great.
Yeah.
And I just want to address there's some pretty adamant questions
Yeah.
popping up down below. Just so today, just so everybody's clear, we're just focused on tips on how to become a successful Georgian student. So we know that you have a lot of questions about all kinds of things, and we're seeing other kinds of questions coming in about, you know, visas, transcripts, winter semester deferrals, like all kinds of things. We really do want to support you. So Kay Santosh, I'm just going to address you. Send us a direct message. It will be me on the other end, and I'll do my best to connect you with the person you need to connect with. Okay. That's probably the best route today, because we won't be able to address all of our different issues today. So you can also feel free to reach out to our international team, because they would probably actually be the best people to contact. They would be the most knowledgeable. You can reach them at international@GeorgianCollege.ca. That goes for any international student issues. Okay, great. So jumping back into some more questions there. I'm curious too about your personal advice as a student, you know, and so let's look at sort of that overall college experience as well, and sort of drawing from your own experiences. Are there certain resources or areas that you would recommend to students to check out to be successful?
Yeah, so I've learned through, like, I'm entering my 3rd year. I've been through semesters, I've been through co-ops, I've done it all. And I've learned that my path is something that I really like to take advantage of, because it actually allows me to see where I'm at. You can like figure out if you're meeting all your graduation requirements, what's required. You can make sure that you're taking the right courses, like even with registration. Like if you have any questions at all, you can double check to make sure that you're enrolled in the right courses and that they're going to count towards your transcript and your graduation. Like you don't want to miss out on a comm and it be the reason why you don't graduate your program. So using my path, I can actually like keep track of that to make sure I'm enrolling in the correct courses. And then another one that I really took advantage of my 1st year was the tutoring help. I was required to take accounting and math 1st semester, and I never took accounting in high school. But the people in the library, obviously that was in person, but now everything's virtual through the library, were really great to help with my accounting and math questions when I got hung up on something instead of just
Yeah.
getting frustrated and giving up.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I'll just pull up the library website as well, just really quickly, so people can see. So it's library.GeorgianCollege.ca. They have tons of information on here as well. You can book a library computer, and all like what you were saying about like math tutors and writing,
Yeah, the writing
that
center.
sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of, you can see up here, resources, services, and all that good stuff. Tons of info there. They are on Instagram as well. They are very active on here at Georgian College Library. If anyone wants to check that out. Okay, great. And so we have a question as well here from Pavan, who's asking about the benefits, like what are the benefits of having a mentor? I'm going to start my classes for fall 2020, and I'm from India, and I'm still in my home country due to coronavirus.
Yeah. So I know this past summer, for example, everybody who had, every mentor they tried to pair the mentors with people in the program. So there's a good chance that you are going to be paired with somebody who's an upper year student in your program who's taken those courses. So not that we're going to act as a tutor, but we can offer inside help sometimes. And maybe you should consider this, or maybe you should talk to this person. We're going to be familiar with the deans and the program coordinators because we've dealt with them for the last 1 or 2 years. Just our personal experience, things that we've learned, we can offer that help so that maybe you can skip or use that to your advantage instead of having to figure all that out by yourself.
Okay, great. Yeah, and he says here he's got a business program, so there would be coordinators and
common areas, right? We've been there, we've had similar courses, we've had to learn ourselves. And then the other thing about the peer mentor too is that, for example, we're running group meetings. So if you attend those group meetings, and I have 16 students myself who I'm mentoring, there's going to be 16 other people who are going to be in similar programs, or they're all going to be first year students. So even though you maybe aren't on campus, you're still meeting people who are also first year students and the networking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've got a comment here as well from Nia, just about, I attended a peer mentor web meeting yesterday, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Loved it. So that's great.
We did an introduction one yesterday. So everybody was all in one big group, and I was told that there was over 100 people who showed up.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
And that it was a really good time. I had to miss some in co-op, but
yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, and she says, I'm just looking forward for getting my mentor soon. I was nervous about how everything would look online, but I got relief after the meet. So that's wonderful. Okay, and then and then somebody's asking about are we going to have peer mentors before Head Start? So I guess yes, right? Because you guys have started having some of those meetings.
Yes, we've had the big meeting, and we're going to be assigned our individual mentees end of this week, early next week. So you'll be hearing from us reasonably soon.
Yeah, perfect. And there's another question here, just about if I think they're asking about, is it applicable for 1 year post grad program also? So is this applicable to any student, basically?
Any student. If you're just looking for a bit of extra help or you want to know about the resources, we do run grouply meetings, but that's not to say that you have to attend those meetings. If you're somebody who just wants to be on the weekly communication, the information that we're sending out about, a reminder for ad drop is opening or closing. Don't forget that this is reading week, like all that information that we normally send out as a reminder. If that's going to benefit you, we can put you on an email list. You don't have to attend the group meetings if that's not really what you're directed for, or the information that you're really looking for. But I think even as a postgrad student, you're going to have questions about Georgian resources and other things that we could probably answer for you.
Yeah, totally. Everybody needs to know maybe where how to access the library and other student services, or
And we can always direct you to the right services too, even if we're not the ones who can help you. We know who can.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I see another question from Pavan about orientation. So we are actually going to be chatting with our first year experience officer a little bit later about that. So stay tuned. Sarah, just to wrap up with you here, I'm just looking at some takeaways. What advice would you give to students on how to be successful at Georgian?
So I had a few things I prepped for this question. And my main thing would be to print off all of your syllabuses and print some sort of organizer, whether it's a calendar or it's an electronic calendar or it's a day keeper. If they're giving you these dates in advance, why not put them in a calendar so you know each week going into what you have to accomplish for that week? And then based on that, like, you're going to know what day your tests are. So start prepping for those tests the week before and just schedule little time slots to study. Don't leave everything to the last minute. Like, I have to make notes for the last 4 chapters today and study for the tests tomorrow. Take advantage of knowing that information ahead of time because you're given it. And then the other one for sure was a lot of teachers will give you rubrics for your assignments. And I know a lot of people who don't really look at the rubric, they just look at the handout for the assignment. But that rubric is actually how your teacher is going to grade your paper or grade whatever sort of assignment you're doing. They're going to use that criteria and actually go through your paper or go through your project. And that's how your grade is being determined. So if as you're working on it, you're looking at the rubric and you go through it yourself before you hand that paper or project in, your professor's probably going to give you a better grade because you've used the criteria that they're looking for.
Yeah, great tip.
Which is major. Yeah, that's what I do. And I get pretty good grades because, yeah, they're giving it to you. So take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before I let you go, I know we're sort of we've got lots more to get through, but there's one last question from Nia again about just about getting involved with clubs, even like dance or networking or whatever is available. Maybe you can talk about that social aspect and how to do clubs right now.
So I personally am not quite sure how you would get involved in a club. I'm sure that there's a Facebook page or some sort of link on that website. But we even always stress as peer mentors all the events that are still taking place virtually. Like in the summer, they had the virtual bingo and stuff, right? Like that stuff's still happening. These groups are still meeting.
Yeah.
I'm sure
for
with clubs,
sure.
there's a link on the web page. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I would suggest taking a look at the GCSA page. I think a lot of the events, even though we have GCSA at our student association at every campus, I think the Barrie one is sort of being the main hub these days, as sort of organizing online events and things like that. So they would probably be the best bet. So it's if you want to find them on here. Oh, we've got someone in our comments with a link or two clubs. But yeah, if you go to GCSA_Barrie on Instagram, for instance, or you can find them on Twitter or Facebook or whatever as well. They post a lot of events there as well, so you can check that out. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing your advice for us today.
No problem. I hope it was helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, thanks so much.
Get out of this.
That's okay. I can do it.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, great. So thank you so much, Sarah, for chatting with us. Thank you so much, Nia. You were both lovely. That was very helpful. Well, you're very welcome. So for anyone who's just joining us, we're chatting about how to be successful as a Georgian student. So coming up, we're going to be chatting with a student recruitment specialist, as well as to our first year experience officer, who's going to tell us about fall orientation. So if you've missed any questions, don't worry. We're going to be posting this live chat to our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube channels following. So you can see them there anytime. As well, again, a really great resource is our website, GeorgianCollege.ca. So for especially for any kind of questions that we're unable to get to today. We really still do want to support you on those. Lots of people wondering about January intake and that sort of thing. We have all our latest updated information on our website. So again, GeorgianCollege.ca. All the info we're talking about today, such as the peer mentor program, orientation, all of that's on there, as well as additional information, including about our, COVID-19 updates, what's happening this fall and beyond. So definitely check that out. So hopefully we're going to be bringing in Sylvia. Yes, I see her here. So we're going to be bringing in Sylvia Lauterbach in just a moment. She is a student recruitment specialist at Georgian. Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. Oh, my head's a little cut off. Let me do a slight adjustment.
There we go.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, thanks for joining us. So you've been with us before on these. For anyone who may have missed our previous chats, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I'm a recruiter, and the recruitment department, basically, we're really there to support and pretty much market Georgian's programs to the wider community. And we really guide and advise also. So answering a lot of questions. We are providing some guidance on, I'm interested in this program versus this program. So we try to, best as possible, educate you on some of the differences and show you some of the resources that exist not only on our website, but other websites. And labor market information and doing some labor market research is a big part of making those big decisions about programs. Yeah.
And speaking of big decisions about programs, so I'm thinking future students, if there's any participants out there who are watching and thinking, you know what, Georgian seems like a pretty cool place and I want to apply, that they can actually apply for free. Can you tell us about that?
Of course. Yep. So we are covering and have been covering for the last few months the Ontario College's application fee. It's $95. So we have purchased vouchers ahead of time and are happy to provide those vouchers. So the best way to get that support is to book a phone appointment. We were a little backlogged just because just such an overwhelming demand for vouchers, but we have recently just opened up a few more quite a few more spots. So recommend that folks go onto the homepage, talk with the recruiter, and then there's the phone appointment. You don't have to go fully into that, but yeah, the phone appointment, and then you can select a time. And just I want to make a note to folks that we have some weeks. So scroll ahead. If there's no availability, there should be an arrow the following week. So scroll through it because I was just on it and there are loads of times to speak with recruiters. And they're in 15-minute increments. So if you book that and you can kind of do a little bit of legwork, start your Ontario College's application. It's pretty straightforward. There's some instructions on that Talk to a Recruiter website. And if you can kind of start that application and then save your work on the payment screen, then when it's time for your one-to-one phone appointment, it's easy for us to then just kind of move forward and complete that process by providing the voucher.
Okay, perfect.
Say one thing about the vouchers, they are unfortunately at this point only for domestic students, and for all those all the international students, we would really recommend for them to reach out to the international admissions team. They've got a great website, and I know that they are responding to international students. If they do want to apply and they need assistance with that, really recommend to reach out to the international team. Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, so and we've got them up there. So if you want to chat with Sylvia or her team, you would go with the domestic students, and then below is for international.
Thank you.
Perfect. So what about for current students as well? How can the recruitment team help current students?
So there's some really great tools on our website. So Jenny, if you would perhaps cast your screen, if you go to the Georgian College homepage, be looking at you just so I can kind of follow along. Yep. And then if you see the admissions tab along there you've got academics, and you've got an admissions tab. And if you, no, go back to the, sorry, you're on the home page. My mistake. You asked me how we can help current students. There's some really good tools and resources. So if you go in this orange box here, there's this fall 2020 program delivery. If you click on that, it brings up a page dedicated to that. And there's some really, if you scroll down, there's some great resources below the delivery there of what's next on remote learning. Yeah, so if you want to keep scrolling down, perfect, right there. And you can see we've got a student remote learning kit on there, and it talks a little bit of the features on really setting yourself up to study remotely, preparing to learn online, some Blackboard support, some LinkedIn learning and productivity tips. So that's really great. And then I really like the 21 ways to make the most of your remote courses. That's also, there's some really great tips in that. And then of course, as Sarah had mentioned, if you do feel like you need some additional support, highly recommend to reach out to the peer mentors, and they can also then connect you with your student advisors if you really feel like you're needing some additional support.
Yeah, perfect. And I'll put up the peer mentors email as well. As we showed you, you can just plug into the website and get connected that way, but you can always reach out to them by email as well.
Okay, great. So we are flying today. We are at 1:30 already. This is crazy. I want to address fall registration quickly too. You know, for any current students who need some help, it is fall registration time.
Yep.
Do you have any tips for them on how to get them set up for success with their registration?
There's really, really comprehensive information on our website. So again, if you want to just go to our homepage, and then there's a whole section dedicated to it. So if you have your mouse over that admissions tab, you'll see the submenu that opens up below. And underneath your admissions roadmap, the very last one there says register for courses. And you can see here, there is then information on how to log into Banner. You have to, first of all, you also have to, one thing I just want to mention is before you can register for courses, you actually have to pay, you have to accept your offer, confirm your offer, and pay your deposit. Without that, you can't really move forward in the process, okay? And there's information online on how to do that, pretty straightforward. So once you've done that, then you can go in, get into your Banner, and then there's information on how to reserve your seat, some dates on when to register, and there's some tip sheets on here as well. And one of the great things is there is some resources, some WebEx times to really support students, just because it can be a little bit, there we go. And there's quite a bit between now and the week 6, which is the end of September. So for the next several weeks, there is times all week long at various times in the day to really support people's schedules.
And it tells you exactly how to get onto them as well.
Yeah, so having some issues registering, that you can participate in those tutorials.
Okay, great. So so wrapping up with you, what are 3 main takeaway or a few main takeaways from yourself on how students can be successful at Georgian?
Well, I think the main thing is review the resources that we have spent a lot of time putting online. It's not like we are entering a time, and we've been for the last several months all working and studying from home. So a lot of the information we have put online. So there's a lot of great information on there. We are happy as the recruitment team to answer any questions. So if you're sort of stumbling through and you're like, what did she say? Definitely, you can shoot an email off to the recruitment team, because it is sometimes, rather than having to book a phone appointment, in the future, it could be a quick answer. So we're happy to answer that, but really review some of the resources that we've put on there. Another thing is for the remote learning is make sure that you have a quiet, comfortable study space, right? So that you've got a dedicated space that's going to be quiet and limited distractions. And that's easier said than done, but that probably is important to set yourself up for success.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the third one would be to get connected. So you're not going to be in a silo. There should be also opportunity to participate in group discussions, even though they're going to be virtual. Get connected with that. And I really encourage folks to then attend the orientation. And I know that we've got a staff member, Aisha, following me, is probably going to talk a little bit about that. So I encourage people to stay on the Instagram Live to hear a little bit more about orientation, because I think that's a really good kickoff to starting your Georgian career.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Sylvia, for all your advice today.
You're welcome. Thanks. Good luck, everyone.
All right, take care. So I know we've got a question here as well, just about highlighting the student remote learning kit. Again, happy to do that. So just so you know where it is again, so go to our website, GeorgianCollege.ca. And again, it's just, that bright orange tab at the top. So you want to go to the lab recovery period page. And that's where you'll find it. So if you click there, and then basically you can just scroll to the bottom, past the search tool, and under what's next, you'll find some resources for remote learning. So things like our student remote learning kit, the article 21 ways to make the most of your remote courses. So lots of good information there. This is what the remote kit looks like. Just so you know, there's some more resources and information, contact information on here for, financial support, Office of the Registrar, course registration, all kinds of stuff. As well over here, there's more information on, prepare to learn online, WebEx supports, even down to self-care. We really do want to take care of all aspects, as well as more information here and additional tabs down here about student services, library, student advisors, and the Georgian Food Locker, which is now open and running again in Barrie. Also, I want to show you a quick place you can actually find more information on the student portal. We're seeing some questions about, using Banner, Blackboard, and how to use some of those, or get some advice on how to use those more efficiently. So if you go to our website, GeorgianCollege.ca, and actually up at the top under login, if you click that, this is where you can sign into a lot of these things, including the student portal, which is right here. So if you click on that, that will take you into our student portal, and actually under the academics tab at the very top, you can find lots of resources in here. So if you're like, hey, how the heck did I do that with Banner last time, or whatever it is, there's some video resources here, how to make changes to your class schedule. There's how to navigate MyPath, which Sarah talked about earlier, about how that's such a useful tool. As well, here's additional resources here on like Banner, how to, you get an error, what do you do? Here's some info on that, how to add and drop a course, how to select them. Down through Blackboard, looking at your grades, more information about MyPath here, using WebEx, online tests, making deposit payments, all kinds of stuff. So there's lots of information there. So we've definitely got lots there for you. So again, we know we're giving you tons of information. So if you do want some additional help locating that stuff, for sure, check out our website, take a look around. You can always direct message us as well. And we'll be happy to help you, direct you to the right place on our website, or whatever information you need. Awesome. So now we are going to be bringing in, thanks for staying with us, guys. I know we're running a bit later than usual in our live chats, but now we're going to be talking about orientation. So definitely stick around for that. We're going to get some great information. So we're going to be bringing in Aisha O'Connor, who is our first year experience and transition officer. So she's going to chat with us all about orientation. Oh. Okay. Great. So we're just going to bring her up here in a moment. Here we go. Hey.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Well, thank you for sticking around for joining us today. I know we're running a little late today.
Thanks for
a
having
little
me.
long.
Excited to be here.
We have so much information to share. So tell us a little bit about what you do at Georgian.
Sure. So I am the first year experience and transition officer at the Barrie campus. And most of the time students have no idea what that means, and that's totally okay. So really I am responsible for, with my team, the orientation team, to run our orientation and transition programs, as well as I oversee the peer mentor program. So those are the two things I do.
Perfect. So you know Sarah.
I know Sarah. Yeah. Yeah, she's one of our peer mentors and she's awesome.
Awesome. So I want to jump right in then to the topic at hand, orientation. So I'm sure people are wondering, since we're mostly remote this fall, what is the plan? When's it happening? Can you tell us all that info?
Yeah, for sure. So there's lots of great information. And so the best way to go about it is to describe it in 3 different stages. So all new students would have received a communication from the orientation team this past Monday. So make sure you're checking your inboxes. We sent it out to your preferred email. So whether that's your student email or you've indicated it's your personal email, please take a look at that. 3 different kind of stages of our orientation. The first one is we have an online student portal page dedicated to all orientation. So this is kind of the one-stop hub to go to get all of the information you need. So this is something I really, really want to highlight because it really talks about what's coming up in the next 3 weeks. So I was just about to say, yeah, if you can go to the page, I was about to turn mine. So that's awesome. So this is on the student portal, which is great. Jenny has it on your screen. The easiest way to get there is the moment you sign into the student portal, there is a big button on the right-hand side that says orientation information. Click that and it'll take you right to this page. So the page that you're looking at here is our landing page. This has all of the supports and services that Georgian has to offer. If you scroll down, there's a bit of a welcome video from our senior leadership team. There's our full orientation day schedule, which is on September 14th. So for all new students, that very first day of the semester is dedicated to your orientation. That package right there that you are seeing, I'm going to go through next, but that is our whole comprehensive orientation package. So as you can see on this webpage, we've kind of organized it in a couple of sections. So there's preparing for Georgian, orientation day, academic supports. We have lots on mental health and well-being. We're introducing our change making, as well as we talk about our campus community. So if you scroll through that page, there is tons of information. Some of the stuff that Sylvia was talking about as well in terms of all the Blackboard supports and how to navigate your online supports. All of that is infused into our orientation schedule and onto our orientation page. So feel free to take a look at that. It's great. There's some information there on your one card. We have the check out the new student guide. And then if you keep scrolling down, there's the full orientation day schedule. It introduces our keynote speaker who's coming to chat with us, as well as what the full day looks like. But the big thing I want to highlight today is that we also have a whole Head Start schedule. So Jenny, if you want to scroll up and if you want to click on our orientation package, that will open up for the students. Right there. So Head Start, for everyone who's on here who hasn't heard of it, is really just our pre-orientation programming. So these are all optional programming, but really, really important. So I would encourage you to take a look at all of the sessions that we have to offer. It actually starts next week, which is really fun, and we've extended it over a 2-week period. As you can see there are a couple of sessions being offered, but Jenny, if you click that download our full schedule here, that'll pop up into a PDF link, which is awesome. And then you can see the full overview of what our calendar looks like. So we offer a couple of sessions a day. And as you can see, it's with a lot of different campus areas. So there's international specific student sessions. We have the One Card involved. We have the Office of the Registrars. We have our mental health and well-being team involved in change making and co-op and careers. The list goes on and on. Each of these sessions are about 30 minutes to an hour, and we wanted to offer a couple of a day because there's a lot of information to learn, and we want you to have some time to digest that information. So all of those links within there, so Jenny, if you hover over any of those, they're actually clickable. So the moment that it's September 1st and you want to attend the One Card session, perfect. It'll open right up. It won't open right now because it's obviously not live, but the moment it's that time and you open up, you'll go right into the session, which is wonderful. As you can see there on the screen, we're going to host all of these sessions in Microsoft Teams. So if you've never used Microsoft Teams or haven't downloaded it yet, we have a full page dedicated on how to do this. So Jenny, if you want to go back to the student portal page for me, and if you go to the sidebar of the new student tab.
Sorry, you mean on here or?
Yep, right there. Sorry, yes. So click the down arrow on the fall 2020 orientation. There's a drop down, and then there's virtual platforms. So our virtual platforms page introduces you to the 2 platforms that we will be using throughout the full orientation experience. All of our Head Start, so for the next 2 weeks, we will just be using Microsoft Teams. That's the only one you need to worry about downloading. It's all free, and there are instructions there on those links on how to download it for what device you're using. For WebEx, you'll be getting very used to WebEx as you start your career here at Georgian, and on orientation day, we will be using WebEx. So as we approach closer to the 14th, that's when you can worry about just making sure you have that app available for whatever device you're going to use. So there's lots and lots of great information on there. If you go back to the sidebar there, Jenny, there's a campus-specific sidebar with a drop-down menu. So because this is the first time we're doing a Georgian-wide orientation, for those who don't know, we have 7 campuses, and all campuses are participating in our virtual orientation, which is wonderful. So when you click that arrow, sometimes it glitches on us. There's
There we go.
Perfect. There's all of our campus pages there. So depending on what campus you are going to, you can click there for more information. These are the pages where we have a lot of student life activities going on. So if you want to know how do you get involved, what's being offered, what does the campus look like, because we have lots of great campus photos up there, this is where you can really get the warm and fuzzy feelings about your specific campus at Georgian. So I'd highly encourage you to check these out. There's a lot of great resources on there. For international students who are watching, there's a bar as well. So if you go to the sidebar again, there's an international page where our great international team has put together a lot of great resources, frequently asked questions on some of the updates that are going on as well. So I know I just threw a bunch of information at you, but really, like I said, this online orientation page is meant to be kind of a one-stop shop where you can check it out and you will see and have access to a lot of great information.
That's great. There's lots more contacts there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Take some time to browse around. And I'll just share that again, just on here. I just used the Aurelia page as an example. But we had someone ask about clubs, and there is actually mention about clubs on here as well. So you can always look on your campus page for that.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so we went through tons of info there.
We were just so well. I figured let's keep going.
It's a one-stop shop for all the info that you need. So there you go. Okay, great. So so do people need to register for orientation? They just kind of show up, right?
Great question. Yeah, so you just need to show up. So the only thing that it'll do is when you click those links, it'll just ask you for your Georgian login, and your Georgian login is your student email as well as your password. So very similar to everything else that prompts you to log in. That's all you'll need to do. There's no registration required.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I think, you know, if people want to take a look on there, there's all that info about when, where, why, how, what,
exactly.
You know, all that stuff.
Yes, and like I said, all of those links are live in that orientation package. So feel free to open that up and you can follow along on that calendar. So you can take a look at what the sessions are. If you keep scrolling through that package that we showed, just underneath that calendar, there's a whole section on the descriptions of what those sessions are. So a lot of times you might not know what the heck one card is, and we have a bit of a description on what that session is and what it'll be covering. So take some time to read through it. I do want to encourage people to participate. We start next week, so take a look at what is being offered next week and what fits with your schedule. But like I said, it'll extend for the next 2 weeks, so there's lots of opportunity to get engaged and to participate in those sessions.
Okay. Yeah. And there's a question here or a comment about, you know, if they've registered for courses, then we still have to attend orientation. So I just want to clarify too, like it's not a mandatory thing. It's just an extremely helpful thing, right? That we're encouraging students.
Yeah. So we try to say come to orientation day. I'd like to say as close to mandatory as possible. The reason for that is orientation day is where you actually get all of your academic orientation as well. So that's a really big day to meet your program coordinators, to meet some of the faculty involved, and to learn about what does this virtual world look like for your program? How is it being offered? So the 14th, I would highly encourage, if not kind of say as much as I can, mandatory, because that's when you're going to get a lot of great information. The Head Start stuff for the next 2 weeks is just highly encouraged. The more you attend, the more you're going to learn. And that's the best way to feel as prepared and supported as you go into your career.
Okay. Yeah. And the Pavan here is asking about the length of orientation. So again, just like that there's it's sort of scheduled out to give people an idea.
Yep. The Head Start is for the next 2 weeks. Every couple of there's a couple of sessions a day, but for orientation day, it's a full day schedule. So if you take a look at our calendar, there's no classes for new students. That's your time to come and participate in our programming.
Okay, great. And then there's a question as well, just about how to I think they're just wondering about, you know, what you were saying about how they're going to start to get to know WebEx a lot better. You know, how do they attend classes? How to join them? Will they be told on orientation?
Yes. So all of your program coordinators are going to go through all of that good stuff on the day of orientation. So if you take a look at our orientation package, we have already provided all of the links in there. Everything is clickable. So you don't need to worry about that as long as you download and go through the instructions of WebEx app as well as the Microsoft Teams app. So just take some time to experiment on that. They're free to download and it's very easy. And then your faculty will go through everything you need to know about how your classes will roll out for the rest of the fall semester.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So yes, we had a question about will the orientation be held by our class teachers as well? So yes, they are involved, right?
They are. Yeah, they'll come on in, they'll introduce themselves, talk about themselves, all that good stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So just to wrap up here with you today, I'm wondering too, from your perspective, you know, what are some main takeaways that you would suggest for students on how they can be successful at Georgian?
Sure. I'm going to be selfish in saying you have to go to orientation. There's lots and lots of research to support that when students attend orientation, they feel much more prepared for their academic journey. So I would strongly encourage you to come. Take a look. If some of the sessions you can't make, at least take a look at our online orientation page. There's lots of great information there. But we do the programming to best prepare you. So I really highly encourage you to attend those. Another one would be just stay connected. I think in this world right now of COVID-19, where we are all a little bit socially isolated, I would really strongly encourage you to try to connect with classmates, with faculty and staff, with friends as much as you can. I think it's too easy to, stay in your PJs and watch Netflix when you have some own time. But we have a lot of great resources. You met Sarah from our Peer Mentor program. That's a great way to connect. I know Changemaking is doing a lot of great interactive activities for students. GCSA, your student council, puts on a lot of events. So I would just highly encourage you to stay engaged. Even if you're not feeling like it, join. You're going to have some fun. You're going to meet some new people that maybe you wouldn't have had the opportunity to. And I guess the third one is just push yourself out of your comfort zone. I like to tell my students this all the time, at least the first years that we see, is try to challenge yourself to do something new that you would never do. I think you learn a lot about yourself, and I think you learn about your strengths and your weaknesses and resiliency all together. So really just try to push yourself. Maybe try something new this semester once you get settled into your class routine, and you might be surprised. So those are my 3 kind of takeaways.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for joining us today.
For sure. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Aisha. And then we just had another question as well from Mayor Patel about when is orientation. So just to reiterate that, it's September 14th. Is orientation, September 14. Again, if you go into the student portal, you are going to see a big tab there about orientation, and that's where you can find all those schedules and everything that Aisha was talking about for orientation, for Head Start, all the links to all the sessions, the schedules, the timelines, everything there. So definitely check that out. How to get to your student portal, you go to our website, GeorgianCollege.ca. Up at the top, log in, and then you can sign into the student portal from there. So thank you so much to our guests today, Sarah, Sylvia, and Aisha. Thank you so much for joining us. I know this was a bit of a live chat, but thank you so much. We had a killer crew of you guys and participants today sticking with us through the whole thing. So thank you so much. If you missed anything, if you missed any topics or questions that you were wondering about, we are going to be posting this live chat to our Instagram, our IGTV, our YouTube account, and to our Facebook page following. So you can check those out at any time starting later this afternoon. As well, we are going to be back again for some more Instagram live chats on Thursdays at 1 p.m. So just stay tuned for that. We're going to have more information, more details about what's going to be upcoming this fall for those. So in the meantime, thank you so much. It was so wonderful to connect with everybody, and we hope that you can share this live chat with your friends, your peers, encourage them to come out to orientation. We hope to see you there, and just to help them out for this coming fall. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're always happy to help answer any kind of questions you may have. And we hope you're just staying safe and healthy. So take care, everybody, and we will see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.